We've been really talking about selection all the way through, but there were many considerations for determining which test or tests you want to employ in any given case. What's the extent of the injury? Were there pre-existing injuries, or at least a question of that? Do you have any idea what parts of the brain might be affected from other tests, like neuropsych or an inexpensive QEEG? What's the cost of the test? What's the coverage in your case? All of these are important, and I like to sort of become an armchair neurologist. I have been fascinated by the various lobes of our brains and what the function of those areas are. So, for example, you see here the frontal lobe is associated with inability or ability to express language, or the ability to focus on a given task, or to coordinate problem solving. That's all frontal lobe symptomology. Temporal lobe has its own markers, and I think it's helpful to your client, and in fact kind of fun to go through the medical records looking for those symptoms to complete your search. I will take the medical records typically and I will highlight them with different colors representing, each color representing a different lobe of the brain, and at the end I find a pattern, and I find that, gee, there's 14 symptoms that are orange here. That is associated with the parietal lobe on the right hand side, and maybe that will give me some indication of where I can start testing. I also look to the biomechanics. Am I talking about an outside scraping, an outside shearing of the cortex of the brain, maybe in the frontal or prefrontal area, or am I talking about twisting along its axis to get to some of the structures deeper inside the brain? In any event, you do some of this, you do what you can, and you consult with experts to assist you with the remainder of your selection. And each test might reveal yet another test you want to do to get further to proving your damage, your particular damage.